listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network. Now, the largest new media platform on the web and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, King Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Gossip Girl After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Gossip Girl After Show.
What up, AfterBuzzers? Today's about focusing, okay? We are staying focused
We need a
tonight.
lot of focus.
Bing is for doing, and we are here doing another AfterBuzzz TV After Show for Gossip Girl Season 6, the final season. Episode 7, Save the Last Chance. But before we do anything else, I am Roxy Striar, along with Jessica King.
Hello, hello, hello.
And Sara Stretton.
Good evening.
The beautiful ladies
so
across from me.
Good evening.
That's tonight we're going to try to stay proper,
Prim and proper.
prim and proper, and
Poised.
on our A games. We are focused, we are strong, we are beautiful young women. And that, seriously, I need that tonight. Okay, let's get right into it though before I start talking
Wandering
about
off
some other BS. Speaking of beautiful young women, Serena, you're her biggest fan, so I'm
know.
looking at you, Jessica, for that one. I know.
I know. So excited.
Okay, this is probably like you were sitting in your bed, like freaking out, crying
Yes.
when you see Serena and Dan actually working.
I was like gasping, like, OMG.
We missed last week because Thanksgiving dinners, etc. But last week is when we find out that Serena and Dan actually have that moment at the end where they're kissing.
Yes.
And then this week is when we see full-blown relationship status. Can we call it that?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, they're in bed. They motivate each other to go out and make amends. Seems pretty.
Okay.
They tell each other that they're the one.
Yeah, because they said when they got together again, it would be the last time. And Dan's like, I never wanted Blair. It was always you. Blow it out your ass, Dan. Like, seriously? Okay, can you guys comment on that?
I agree. That's the biggest joke. Like,
You've been in love with Blair for 2 seasons, right?
and you told Serena that you wanted to basically like be with Blair before, and now you're changing your mind. Like you had these feelings underneath. I'm so confused.
I'll admit, like, Dan's been a little sketch this past season.
It pains you to say.
Yes, I know. Dan, I love you. But, and so, yeah, like, you don't know whether to believe him or not. Clearly, he's burned his bridges with all of his friends, and so it is a little weird that, like, Serena would fall into it, like, so fast. But she's in that vulnerable state, and they're meant to be, and so it's perfect. It's just perfect.
Do they just have the most forgiving friends in all the world?
Yeah.
Because what's the deal? I mean, how many times can you screw somebody over? Isn't it fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me? How about fool me 54 times,
Yeah.
shame on who?
Seriously.
Real
Just
question.
don't have memories.
Yeah, and it's, like, frustrating how we were talking about a couple weeks ago with, like, the writing and everything. Like, you know, Dan apologizes, and it's just right away, like, what do you want? Oh, okay. As long as you help me with my little plan, then we can be friends again. It's just, like, so unbelievable, you know. At least for me, I hold grudges. It's my weakness. But I mean,
you hold TV character grudges.
I do.
So do I.
But I mean, I don't know. Like, I get it. Like, if you're, like, you know, this whole Serena and Blair thing, like, they're best friends and they're not friends and they're not best friends and whatever. And that's understandable if you're, like, really, really best friends, I guess. But I don't know. Everyone else is just way too forgiving for me.
I mean, Serena slept with Blair's Nate and then Blair's Dan. Mm-hmm. But
In the same place.
in the same place, on the same counter, bizarre. But we do hear Blair say tonight in the episode, we'll talk more about her later, but she does say listen, I forgive you because it's not like you slept with Chuck. I would have scratched your eyes out.
Yeah.
And I guess Dan is Serena's Chuck in some ways.
Yes.
I guess.
Totally.
You cannot put them on the same level at all.
I know, I agree, but it's the closest she's ever known to having a Chuck.
Except for the fact that she wanted to marry
They're in
Steven.
love. OMG. They're meant to be. End of story. Dan and Serena forever.
I kind of feel like
You're going to carve that into a tree?
Forevs. Yes. S&D forever.
S and Lonely Boy, LB.
Okay,
True.
but this is the difference. I mean, both Blair and Serena have had these different other men that they've almost married, or in Blair's case, did marry. But the whole time, like, we saw Blair with, like, the Prince Louis, she was always going back to Chuck. But then you have Serena, who actually said she was in love with the old guy that I always forget his name. Steven. And she never was going back to Dan in that time.
And she was with her teacher at some point, and she's been with Nate, and...
But she's been pissed at Dan all this time.
Because of what?
Just because, like, I mean, they keep going on and off with their friendship because of the whole book thing and all that stuff. And so, I don't know. And then she was pissed about the Blair stuff. So she's always mad at him about something.
Well, maybe she has a right to be mad because, speaking of the book thing, the very last thing we see in this episode, which we're going to cover right now because...
Don't break my heart.
I know, but Dan's exact quote, when Georgina calls, he says, "I'm writing a Serena chapter." Guys, is this for real? I couldn't tell. Then he was back with Serena, and was he just saying that to get Georgina off the phone? Or are we supposed to be thinking, like, holy crap, he's just playing her?
I want him to be lying. I just want Dan and Serena back together. And today, like, I totally believed it. The whole episode, they were so believable. They were so cute. They looked so happy. And so, I mean, I want to say that I think it's just to get Georgina off the phone, but I secretly don't believe that's true. So, I'm sad.
So they're going to play...
I mean, maybe it's a good chapter?
I mean, but isn't it the same thing that he did when he wrote the Blair chapter? He started spending more time with her, and, like, you know, that's when he stayed at her house and whatnot. So we're seeing this pattern where, like, right before he's about to write a chapter about someone, he somehow manipulates them by getting a little closer to them and getting them to trust him a little more, and then he screws them over.
Right, and we do have some spoilers about it, so stay tuned for that. But I guess we're going to have to wait and see whether he means it or not.
I hope he doesn't.
But anyway, so they go to make amends with all these people, and Dan makes amends with Chuck and Nate and his dad and Blair.
Everyone.
And Blair and Serena end up being
Besties again.
besties again. So how does this one happen? How do Serena and Blair become BFF again? Well,
Scheming.
through scheming, typical.
Scheming and fashion.
Weird. I feel like we've never seen that on the show before.
What do you know? The writers are being innovative now.
So anyway, Serena goes and she's like, "I am not moving until we're BFF."
Her outfit was so cute in that scene, though.
Why could we see her bra? I didn't understand.
That's true. But it was still super cute.
I thought
Why
it
was
was
she
cute.
acting like a 5-year-old? I don't
I
understand
thought it was
that
cute
either.
too, but why could we? I don't understand why we could just see her bra.
Yeah.
The yellow shirt was just
The
dead
line was
see-through.
just like black.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
There's a very similar outfit on a mannequin behind Blair, if anyone noticed, because I did.
Really?
Yeah, they were wearing like the same outfit.
Okay, so anyway, what do we think about this? Them being BFF again, and this whole Blair's fashion line.
I don't know about them being, like, I don't know. I've already said that I don't think that they're true friends. They're kind of like fair-weathered friends whenever it's convenient for each other. And then the whole fashion line thing, like, again, when Blair needed Serena's help, everything was great. They were besties again. It was like, thanks for everything. You're the best, whatever. And as soon as Blair thought, like, the second she thought that Serena was behind, you know, everything falling apart and Sage, you know, rebelling or whatnot,
Right.
before even asking Serena, she's like, "I knew it. You planned this." Like, she just like started blaming her and attacking her, and it's just like, come on, like, what kind of friends are these? It's so frustrating for me to watch.
Right, the problem is there's no such thing as the benefit of the doubt anymore because every time they've given it, they've been wrong.
Yeah.
So there's no trust. So even though Serena wasn't doing something bad, Blair's always going to assume she is.
Yeah. And how does Serena, like, not even get upset about that? I'd be like, excuse me, like, say you're sorry because it's not true. You know, she's like, oh my gosh, Blair, what are you talking about? You're so amazingly talented. It's like, go on.
She's like, now everybody will know how talented my best friend really is. And she's
Yeah.
like, thanks.
It's like, you just wrongfully accused me. Hello.
Thoughts, Sarah? Sarah, you know what that rhymes with?
What does that rhyme with?
Blair.
I'll take it. I love Blair. No, I was disappointed how this whole thing started because we saw a couple episodes Blair trying to apologize and do the exact same thing to Serena, and I felt like when Blair apologized, it was a lot more like, come on, let's be friends, let's talk about this. And Serena's like, I'm just gonna sit here and wait and be annoying. And I was like, but then they both just have these aspects that they're not grown up, and there's no trust, and there's a lot of problems. So I agree with you. I agree that maybe they somehow have to rekindle some sort of trust with each other. It's not worth having a friendship.
I feel like they're not meant to be friends anymore.
Okay, if they're not meant to be friends and Blair's lost all of her other minions, except for Nellie, who's literally around every second now.
Yeah.
Like, Nellie has the biggest role in the show
Yeah.
as of recently. But then what kind of friend is Blair missing? Who would work in Blair's life as BFF number one?
I just wish the writers would acknowledge, which obviously it's too late for this now with what, like 4 episodes left. But, you know, I'm sure everyone has gone through this.
4, we got 3.
3. I know I've gone through this. Like from high school, you know, you leave high school thinking that you have the best friends that you're ever going to meet. And then, you know, you go on to college or whatever you do next in your life. A lot of times you just grow out of those people. And it doesn't mean that you're not friends ever again, but you kind of just like come to a realization that that's not your best friend anymore. And you've met other people who have bigger impacts in your life and that you've formed closer bonds with.
Through the years, you don't keep the same ones you've known forever.
Exactly. I mean, you definitely have, you know, like when I go visit my family, like I still have those high school friends who at the time I thought were like my best friends in the world, and now, you know, they're friends, and we're not like still trying to make this best friendhood work because we've both, you know, grown out of each other, and they could still be acquaintances, Blair and Serena, but I wish they would just stop trying to force this best friend thing.
Well, because what do they have in common really at the core?
Nothing.
Like we were talking about fashion and scheming, and neither of those are particularly substantial.
Yeah. And they don't trust each other. Like, they don't confide in each other. Like, what's the point?
They don't have the same passion.
Exactly.
Except for the men they go for seem to be the same frequently.
They don't listen to each other. It's like one always goes to the other with their problems and then doesn't want to wait and listen about the other person's problems. It's just, like, weird.
But is it messed up that being said, I still don't think it would be a good show, and I don't want to see the finale with them not being friends? Like, I need them to end on a good note together.
At this point, that's what needs to happen because we've been with them for so many seasons and we've got 3 episodes left. So either they're gonna be best friends or they're gonna like not talk. I don't think you can really end this with a mediocre friendship that's back and forth. It has to be very black or white.
And I was just saying, like, I wish the writers would have acknowledged that, you know, we were talking about this last season about how their friendship just sucked. It's like non-existent. Clearly at this point it's too late and you're gonna have to just go with the flow, whatever, you know. But I don't know, it bothers me to just see this back and forth fair-weathered friendship.
Speaking of fair-weather friends, though, what about this monarchy that we have come up in this episode? So basically we, for the first time ever, hear about the fact that Blair, when she was in high school, started a thing called the monarchy, which is the 5, what do they call the big 5? The 5 family. The 5 family, so the best 5 private schools in Manhattan or New York, wherever. One girl from each school is elected, and they all come together, and they're Dawn Constance, Dawn whatever, from wherever they're from, and they have meetings, and they help with each other and do fake girl things, whatever it is. So, obviously, Sage is Dawn Constance, and Blair needs Sage's help, so she has a monarchy meeting.
She demands.
She founded it.
Yeah, which is, like you said, funny that we never heard of it in the past.
Right, but the mob is more important than
the
crown, so we started switching to Dawn. Like, why do they add in all these random weird things all the time?
That, like, wouldn't hurt or help the show otherwise if it were in there or not, you know?
It's, like, bizarre. All these new characters, all these new girls, and I'm like, Although I will say I did like this. I did like the idea. We haven't talked about it yet because we weren't here last week. What did you guys think about Blair deciding to start this line of clothing for uniforms?
I think it's a great idea. I mean, you should have thought of that a long time ago. Like, her and Serena were notorious, especially Serena, for making their uniforms not look like uniforms back when they were in high school. And so I think it's something that she should have figured out years ago.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a great niche. I was like convinced in my mind before that hideous white dress came out that Blair was going to go down the line of making lingerie. And I was like, go for it. She has great taste. No, but this whole new spin, I actually really liked it.
Me too.
Like, it was something that was really her own, and like, it was a fresh new idea, and I thought it was good.
I thought it was creative, and if I was in high school, I would want to buy some of those uniforms.
Totally.
And I would want to buy them for the holidays. And if this was real life, you know how you would do it? You know how you would buy the uniform for the holidays?
I was like, you'd buy a uniform for the holiday?
You know where I'm going with this.
Now I do.
So, if you want to buy a uniform for the holidays or something else, because it would be kind of weird to buy a uniform for the holidays, basically what I'm saying is we're bringing Amazon back, baby. It hasn't gone anywhere, but we just haven't been talking about it. And we got to bring it back because it's holiday season. So, if you're like, what the hell are you talking about? We have linked up with Amazon so that if you're buying something off of Amazon, first go to AFTERBUZZTV.com and then click on the Amazon link. It will bring you right to Amazon, and then you can continue your shopping as you want. We get a little bit of the percentage of the money you spend. You don't spend any more. We get some. Win-win. You guys help us. We help you just by being here, I guess, and showing our love. And this will help show your support. So you got to do holiday shopping, siblings, parents, boyfriend, girlfriend.
And everyone loves
yourself.
Amazon.
Everybody's on Amazon all the time. Just go to AfterBuzz and click on that link. Yeah.
And there you go.
And get that uniform, because you know.
Yes, for the
I
holidays.
will pass on my Christmas gift from Roxy.
My transitions could use a little work. I understand. I get it, guys.
No, actually, your transitions
Whatever.
are usually really great. Just saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And the gift of giving. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We missed it.
Oh yeah, Turkey Day.
I know, but isn't it weird because of Sandy, all these episodes are pulled back, pushed forward 1 week. So next week, we're going to see the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah.
But it's like,
A little late there.
Kind of late.
Yeah.
And if you're sitting there thinking, oh, I hate that I wasn't able to talk to you guys last week, and it was Thanksgiving, and I missed you, and you guys weren't on, and I'm pissed at you, or I love you guys anyway, you know where you tell us?
Where?
iTunes. No, seriously, you guys show us YouTube love. We love it. Twitter love. We love that, except for Sarah. Sarah, get a Twitter hashtag. But also, we need you to go to our iTunes, comment, 5-star us, rate, subscribe. We will give you a shout out if you leave your Twitter handle on the show. So show us some love there because we need it. Okay. Anyway, moving on from this Blair, Serena. Is this going to last? Yes, we're saying
Yeah, I think it'll last through the end of the show.
all the way through the end.
No, no way.
Blair and Serena.
There's a couple more up and downs.
There's at least one.
No, but I
blow-up.
mean, I think it's going to end on like a high note, like on them.
So in the future,
Well, I mean, in the 3-episode future.
you never know what could happen. People come back from the dead, come back to the show. It happens all the time.
Just as a final note on the clothing line, I loved that they said, devotion to clothes trumps 5 family loyalty.
Yes.
Oh, that's really good friendship there. So, stamp of approval on...
Apparently, there's no friendships in the Upper East Side. It's non-existent.
I thought, except for Nate, but we're not talking about that yet. But seriously, I was like, he's such a good guy. He's such an amazing friend.
His fault?
It was. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there.
I have to say one thing on that note, though. This is totally just before we leave Blair, Nellie,
okay.
and all of this. I want to say that I loved it when Nellie was like, Blair tried to blackmail me, and then outed her, and was just so upfront
Right.
about all the scheming. I was like, if everyone just did this,
Then there wouldn't be any problems.
Because we never would expect them to do that. And
it would be so much better. It was like a light bulb. I was like, learn.
because it was just like a fat picture of Nellie. Who cares? You're skinny and gorgeous now.
Yeah. Everyone's had their
trendy glasses.
awkward days.
Trendy.
Not trendy.
No.
Flipping your hands upside down is not trendy.
I'm trendy, whatever. Wait, just as a side story, my grandma's email is trendybo, but it's like trendy bo, like bohemian, and I always, when I get emails from her, I think it's so funny. Trendybo. What? What? You're so weird. She just got her nose pierced. Anyway.
OMG.
Yeah, bizarre. So, moving on to talk about another OMG weirdo. Charlie, what are you still doing on the show? And what are you doing
With your love life.
Please get killed off.
William Vanderwoodson and Charlie? How did they meet? How did this happen? We definitely thought she was on the phone with Ivy all this time.
With Lola.
Yeah, with Lola Ivy, not
Ivy,
Charlie
yeah.
Ivy. So,
The daughter of the guy she's now...
somebody explain, just for clarification purposes, what actually is going on?
What I understand is that Charlie Ivy actually loves Mr. Vanderwoodson,
Yes.
which is disgusting. I thought that Rufus was disgusting. This is more disgusting. I don't know why, but it's somehow more disgusting. And she doesn't love Rufus at all and has been faking that and now wants... all in order to sabotage Lily.
Because she wants to get Rufus so drawn in and in love with her that he'll be willing, that he won't turn back to Lily. So
Right.
Charlie Ivy and William met when he was supposedly trying to help her get all of her money issues squared away from, what's the granny's name?
Cece.
Cece, right. And now she's head over heels for him, and they're scheming together. What do you know?
Why is William so intent on taking down Lily? Even though we know that he was after Lily for a little bit, wanted to be with her again. And she said no.
Why? I have no idea. I'm really
This
confused.
is the mother of his children, you would think.
Yeah.
And he's like
It's
out.
weird.
He's been out of the picture.
And they've always been cordial, kind of, haven't
Yeah.
they? Up until now.
This whole thing, I'm like, I don't
feel
know,
like-
Gossip Girl.
There has to be something else behind it. Like maybe he wants Charlie Ivy's money. And
He's playing her, and
I
she's
think he-
playing everyone.
because I mean, I feel like she's gonna get screwed over in the end because she's so in love with him and he seems so uninterested.
Yeah.
Like every time she hugs him, like she's just like throwing herself at him, like as long as we have each other, and he's just like, yeah, pat on the back. And so I think that there's something up with that. He has some kind of ulterior motive, and I can't help but think of the money because she has like this enormous amount of money that she's just like wasting away.
Maybe he wants the money for his actual daughter or something. But the daughter gave it away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so confusing.
It is confusing, but I did like, you know how typically the way Gossip Girl phrases things, we're like, seriously. This was, although I don't know how far-fetched this is, I don't know if I believe it, but I do like the way that she phrased it. Sometimes the partner in crime is more shocking than the crime itself.
Yeah.
So,
That was definitely a shock.
yeah,
I
we
mean,
were surprised, and nobody expected that. Definitely. So, I
that was
like
one
that.
of my gasping moments.
But was it unexpected because it doesn't make sense?
Right, exactly. So,
But they led us to believe all this time that she's been scheming with Lola.
True.
So, I mean, even though it didn't make sense, that's not what was going through my mind. I was just like, what? Like, he's back? Are you kidding me? And then, like, what? They're in a relationship? Are you
I
kidding
feel
me?
like that's the phrase of the season.
Yeah, like, what?
yeah, but
I know, he's alive again?
But honestly, the phrase of last season was wah wah. Like it was all just like and this one is what?
Yeah.
So I'm definitely this season. Maybe it's only because it's short and I see an end in sight, but I'm for sure digging it. Even though it's far fetched, and even though, guys, I can't believe Gossip Girl is getting under 1 million every week viewers.
Really?
Every week they got down to 0.6.
Wow.
Really not doing well.
That goes to show why the season is ending
I know.
halfway through.
I was really upset with that, and I think it was all really based on last season. It was such a bummer.
Yeah. I know a lot of Gossip Girl fans, well, I guess they're not fans anymore, but have told me that they were huge fans in the beginning and then they just like fell off. And I'm like, oh, come on.
Season 1, 2, yeah. Season 3, Season 4, yeah. Season 5, Season 6, we're getting back up there.
Yeah, but it doesn't
Didn't
make
seem to be
sense. None of it makes sense. But at least it's still keeping our interest.
We don't mind that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always that love there. There's this unconditional love where as much as certain people, Serena, make me mad, I still love it.
So we haven't even mentioned, because once again, we weren't here, but we're talking right now about how they're trying to take down Lily, but we haven't even talked about this whole painting thing. So, you know, I would definitely think if I had my life's biggest secret, I wouldn't keep it in my vault where I keep all the stuff that is really important. I wouldn't keep it in any of my millions of safes and banks in different countries. I wouldn't keep it. I would keep it behind a painting.
Yeah.
Which just so happens to be the one painting that Lily chooses to go to auction.
Right.
What?
Right.
Which I'm confused. Like, has that been there like all these years and it just never got moved? Like, they never felt the need to rearrange some furniture or decor or whatever. It's just like kind of odd to me.
But it really has. That painting's been here for all 6 seasons. But that's weird.
Of a rainbow lady.
Yeah. What was the name of the painting? I wrote it down somewhere. Oh, it was a Richard Phillips painting, but I don't know what it was called. The Rainbow Lady, probably.
I'm just gonna call
Rainbow
it
Lady works.
Right. So anyway, Charlie Ivy steals it, steals the backing of it.
Well, she
knows it,
buys the painting at the auction.
and then Chuck buys it from her. and-
Rufus buys
Rufus
it.
buys it with her money.
And
Sugar
I feel
mama.
like money.
It was
Sorry,
somehow
I'm
she-
focused.
no. It was. I was just like it was. Oh, as usual, sometimes they push it just a little bit too much. Like, oh, but she knew that there had to be something else with the painting.
Yeah,
There had to be something
like that's
more.
the first thing you check.
It was
was
very
weird.
But then I guess Chuck did say there's something that I need from that when he wanted to buy it from
I
her.
forgot about that.
So I guess that would make sense.
Okay.
The one thing.
So
They needed to throw
Anyway,
in a party
though-
somehow. So
Anyway, though, so then what happens with this painting and the situation? Charlie thinks she has all the stuff, but Rufus sees Charlie kissing another man, doesn't know it's William, getting in the car, and then Lily had already contacted him, so he kind of knew what was up, and he didn't really know what was up, but he knew that he should help Lily because he knew that Charlie wasn't in love with him anymore because she told him that he was with somebody else, so he stole it, but we didn't know he stole it, and then she went to go, like, frame Bart, make it look like they had slept together and take pictures and gave him the package, but Chuck walks in right at that moment, and Chuck walks in and it's like all big clusterfuck, and I'm like, what's going on? And then Chuck gets the text messages, and the text messages from Nate and
From
from
Dan.
Dan saying that Lily has the information. So Chuck walks out, and my favorite line of the episode is when Chuck says, "You're right, you know me so well," to Bart.
How sad is it
Get it, Chuck?
that the two closest people to Lily, other than like her daughter, are both willing to, I don't know if like how far they would have gone to like, you know, sell her out, but they're
Chuck
both
wouldn't have.
but they're both willing to take that step to, you know, like almost do it.
But he wasn't, and Bart would, but Chuck wouldn't, because Chuck's a good guy, and Bart's an asshole, and he needs to be gone. But Lily didn't get
that's
that,
not
and,
true,
and
like-
then Lily burned it in the flames, and we're yelling, "Save the last chance! Save the last chance!" See what I did there?
Chuck didn't get his chance though because Bart beat him to it.
No,
Even though Chuck said he had a plan, I know, I get it, but
He would
still,
never
I feel like it
Lily-
would have backfired and something would have ended up happening in Lily's.
Lily wasn't even gonna be at the fashion show.
Something would have happened where she ended up having to go or getting a last minute invite or something.
Why do you hate my boyfriend so much?
That's just how Gossip Girl works.
What do you have against him?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
I feel like there's a lot of hostility right now.
Break it up,
should
Sarah.
all-
Break it up.
Maybe we should all calm down. We'll just schedule a little plane crash, and that's supposed to happen, right?
Intervention.
Anyway, I felt so bad for Chuck as he's sitting there and he's like, "I lost the only parent that ever picked me." And Nate's like, "About that, I blew it."
Yeah.
Yeah, Nate, you blew it.
Okay,
But he's
How can-
being blackmailed.
Yeah, but how can somebody just own half your business and you don't even know? Like, how could that be allowed when he signed off on that thing? Shouldn't Nate have to have known?
you would think it really did make. Well, we knew that he had a benefactor We knew that he was getting money from an investor. So maybe that's like where he thought it was like the same person.
That should be cray, yo.
Yeah,
What
it's
she said.
ridiculous. And how
Preach to the choir, baby.
Okay.
Okay.
snap.
Amen. Oh, snap. No sound bites there. No. Oh, there we go.
I was like, is this just gonna keep going until something happens? No. Do you want a snapping one? Do you have another snapping one?
That was it. Oh, snap.
Perfect. No, but I totally forgot what I was saying. Nate, Bart.
He had a
Nate, the good
benefactor.
guy,
He had
benefactor.
an investor.
What was the reason that Bart got invested in the first place?
So that now he
Solely
can
so that he could blackmail Nate.
Did he know that he was gonna have to blackmail Nate?
Yeah, because remember, Bart actually approached Nate about it from the beginning because Dan wrote that article that said that Nate's business was kind of about to like flop. And so that's when Bart approached him and was like, I have a proposition.
You're raising your hand, Roxy.
Calling me.
Yes,
How can we help
Roxy.
you?
So Nate is in need of money.
Yes. Chuck?
Ch-
Question?
Chuck, Serena, Blair,
Charlie Ivy?
Charlie Ivy. Really? There was nobody who could help dig him out of this hole?
He wants to do it on his own. I
They're
feel
an
like I
investor.
relate with that because I hate asking people for favors, especially financial favors. And so he probably, you know, all of his friends are doing well for themselves
No,
and
but
supporting themselves.
I'm saying once he knew that Bart was involved, he could have been like, Chuck, your father is blackmailing me. I need to buy him out.
Yeah, but I feel like he was cornered already, and that's when Bart called.
I'm a thinker.
Good
I'm a
idea.
thinker.
Problem solver.
You
would
know.
think, I mean, Chuck obviously hates Bart enough that he wants to
I know.
hurt him.
Yeah.
So, weird situation with the fire and the burning, and how are we going to solve this? Is Chuck going to find anything else?
Horrific.
I don't know.
tragic
I mean,
accident.
how is he going to get another?
Blair says he will.
But that also, does that not bother you guys that, like, whenever Chuck, you know, obviously he's very invested in this whole situation. And whenever he gets, like, down and out about something like tonight, he's like, I'll never find another one. And then she just makes it sound so simple, like, we'll find another one. And it's like, no, we won't. Like, it's not that easy.
That's not what bothers me. What bothers me is that whenever she's down, she still wants to be with him. But when he's down, he's like, we aren't going to be together. Like,
I
that's
don't
not
care
what a
about that
partnership
part.
is. Because you don't care about Chuck. I hate you. I don't really. I love you. But I love Chuck
Roxy.
more. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
Hey!
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Attention. It'll be okay.
All right, focus.
Back to Chuck. Just think about Chuck. Such good things.
I just love him.
Exactly. And eventually they will be together.
Okay.
And things will be okay.
Should we get to some news and gossip? Have we covered the episode? Pretty much. I think we got that.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, the ultimate thing, after Bart and Chuck failed to get the microfilm, Rufus stole it because he saw Ivy
Oh, yeah, that whole Rufus thing.
making out with William.
And obviously, Rufus and Lily had that nice little moment, and we know where that's going to go.
Yes, and now she spikes her chamomile, so that was...
Didn't she go to AA or something? Like, wasn't she an alcoholic and had to quit drinking for a while?
So.
She was.
Yeah.
Good,
And
good.
she had to wear like a... Oh, no, that's house arrest. Never mind.
Yeah, that was a different
Totally different time.
So you're right. Now that we've mentioned that, though, is there anything else we need to say about it? I feel like
No.
there's not much to it.
Yeah.
Just they're trying to not throw it in the last episode. They're trying to ease us into Lily Rufus.
So basically, I mean,
Basically, who's together
Rufus
and
and
who's not
Lily are going to get back together. Dan and Serena are going to get back together. And eventually Chuck and Blair are going to get back together. What else?
Or Charlie.
What about William and
Yeah.
Oh,
He's
ew.
gonna
What
break
about
her
Nate?
heart.
Nate's going to
Sage.
become the new lonely boy. Sage is gone. She's done after this week.
No, she's not. Wait for some news and gossip.
Damn
okay.
it!
Let's get
There's a
to
lot of
it.
people you want to kill off this show.
Okay.
I just want the OGs.
I gotta pull this shit up on my phone, yo. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, that's a
sometimes.
cool song, not.
Okay, we're going to start with some news and gossip, and then we'll get to the spoilers. So, Leighton Meester's continuing to try to break her Gossip Girl mold, which, you know, she cut her hair, etc. And now she did a risque photo shoot for Flaunt magazine, which was shot in a 70s style makeup, whatever, whole situation. She's surrounded by naked men. There's some pictures of her with girl-on-girl action. There's like this girl like almost grabbing her tits, and then there's some side boob, some dominatrix type outfits. Like, girl's going on. She looks great. You can barely recognize her though in the little bob, and that's cray.
You know what?
She's like basically naked.
Good for her, because I think Leighton Meester is hot.
She
and
is.
Her Gossip Girl
legs,
character does not do her justice. Like, the way that they do her hair and makeup on the show, like, she needs to, like, sex it up a little bit.
But I feel like she's been all over the map, though, like,
Right.
with her career, like, outside of Gossip Girl, like,
Which is
Country
good.
Strong. Yes, exactly. She, I mean, you said breaking the mold, but I feel like she's just putting all these different personas on, and I think it's great.
Yeah, that's I'm saying breaking the mold of
versatile.
this, but which she's always trying to do because this was her first big role, of course. Anyway, so there have been rumors that Blake and Ryan are having issues. Okay,
Already?
what are we, 2 months in? Apparently, he lashed out at her for seeing pictures of her and Penn Badgley, which we know is her ex-boyfriend, of them laughing and hugging. Did this actually happen? I'm saying no.
Well, I think what I was reading a little bit about this, and it goes further where they were together was like the Gossip Girl wrap-up party.
Right.
Did you think they were gonna have a bad time with each other? at the Gossip
and they're
Girl
probably
wrap-up?
drunk.
I just can't picture Ryan
he's
being upset about that. He's an actor. He gets it. I think that somebody's trying to cause drama where there was none.
Especially going into it knowing that they're gonna both be there together. Like, I'm sure he doesn't expect them to just ignore each other.
I bet he was there too. Like, it just doesn't
Yeah,
make
and
sense.
once you're married, I'm sure he's way confident in his relationship. I mean, come on.
He be sexy, yo. Okay, so anyway, there's a new movie called Parts Per Billion, which is bringing together, speaking of Penn Badgley, with Rosario Dawson and Josh Hartnett. It's about three couples. It's the interwoven story of three couples that are forced to make life-altering decisions in the face of a war. It's shooting this December in Detroit, Michigan.
Wow.
Detroit.
Penn Badgley in like that would be a different.
So we
Hard
shall
for him.
see.
Yeah.
We shall see. Anyway, moving on to some spoilers. If you don't want to hear them,
Spoiler alert.
turn that shit down.
Spoiler alert.
So, you know what? We can actually do our spoiler alerts and our predictions all at once because these are half spoilers, half predictions. So,
Spoiler alert predictions.
Spoiler-
alert predictions.
Spoiler alert.
Predictions.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
what did I say about trying to focus tonight? It's not working, guys. Okay, so Serena and Dan are throwing a Thanksgiving together next week. Yay!
2 weeks too late.
Who's invited? Lily, Chuck, Nate,
Everyone.
Sage,
This is gonna work out great.
Blair, Georgina, Bart.
Someone gets
Who's
punched.
gonna show up?
That's who comes.
Oh, that's who does come.
Yes, from what I hear. Nate beats up Dan
Yeah, Nate has some like
for unbeknownst
animosity
meanings.
towards him still.
And Dan officially writes his last expose, but he doesn't know whether to publish it or not.
Is it about Serena?
I'm assuming.
OMG!
And then, of course, we see Serena somehow running into Steven. Probably has to do with him dropping off Sage at Thanksgiving.
That's weird that
Wait,
she wouldn't be
was
spending
Sage in the list
Thanksgiving
of
with her
going to
dad.
Sage is on the list. Lily, Chuck, Nate, Sage, Blair, Georgina, Bart, and of course Dan and Serena who are
Wait,
throwing
does
it.
that mean Nate and Sage are back together?
I don't know.
Wouldn't it
Wait,
have
when
to?
did
Why
they
else
break
would she
up?
be there?
Oh yeah, they did break up. Sorry.
I don't know, but I don't know why Rufus isn't there.
Get rid of Sage. Get her out of here.
Maybe he is. Maybe somebody's missing something. Maybe my information's false.
I
Maybe.
feel like if Sage is there, it's because she gets back together with Nate. There's no other reason for her to be
I
there,
don't.
especially if what's his name.
But guys, you know how tonight we kept saying, what? Do you know what the title of next week's episode is called?
What?
It's called It's Really Complicated.
Oh jeez, as if we need more
I was like,
complication.
if this week wasn't complicated
It's
enough.
Really Complicated is the title. Thank you for that warning.
I think we figured that out by now, Gossip Girl.
So we're going to really need to pay attention We're going to be back. Do we have any other predictions other than the obvious that we talked about?
No, I was kind of disappointed. Like, the preview for next week was super short. I was like, what's going on? Usually, like, it gives you a little time to get into it. And I feel like all we saw was Thanksgiving dinner and a punch and Steven, and then that's it.
I'm just so confused how Steven and Sage got back. That's all I really am interested in.
Nate and Sage?
No, Steven. How did Steven get back here?
Oh, I just don't know.
We'll have to wait
We'll have to wait until next week. So if you're confused, which I'm sure you're going to be about It's Really Complicated, you're going to want to tune in next week. But until then, you're going to want to contact us. Us as in me and Jessica, not as in Sarah, because she's blowing it.
Sarah get Twitter.
Where can we find you?
How to get a Twitter?
Find me on Twitter, not Sarah, because she doesn't have Twitter, but find me on Twitter at I am Jessica King.
At Roxy Striar. And until it's really complicated, XOXO
From
babies.
Bing.com, executive
We left.
producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later. XOXO.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.